Look
All right,
at
what's
that
up,
fucking
everyone?
mustache. Sorry.
It is an impressive mustache. But anyways, what's up, everyone? We are here for another roundtable. It's hard to believe that I think it's been like over 6 months since we've done our last one, and we have an impressive group. So to start off, we have Jason, aka Man Who Parks and Gym, Prime Fitness's #1 affiliate. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks.
We have Carp's Gym, who is competing in the Strongman Throwdown at Home Gym Con. We also have Keith, aka the No Wine Seller. He
Howdy.
is a co-host of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. We've got Chip, recently helped create a product with Black Widow. Guys, thanks for hopping on.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right. Let's start off with a question that Keith actually wanted to ask. So you have to get rid of one of your barbells. Which one are you getting rid of?
I guess I'll jump in since it was my question. We stole this from the Brocast. I think they had that on there a few months ago, but I really enjoyed the question. And I had to really think hard about it a couple times because I even have some duplicate. I have at the time, well, currently I think I only have one duplicate bar. I have 2 Ohio Power bars, and I wouldn't get rid of either of those. I'd honestly would get rid of one of my, I have a vintage York Power bar, but the knurling on it is so useless that it's cool, nostalgia, because it's somewhat easy to find a York Olympic bar, just the 28 millimeter bar that you could do CrossFit or Olympic lifts on, but the actual power bar that's a little thicker and has center knurling is not as common. But the one that I have is it's trash as far as the knurling. It's cool for nostalgia, I guess, but as far as a functional bar, I feel like it's going to just fall out of my hands if I'm benching heavy with it, no matter how much chalk I use. So it's kind of sketch. So I think that would be the one that I would part ways with if I had to, in this fictional world where, it's post-apocalyptic and we actually have to get rid of barbells,
Well, if all things go according to plan this year or sometime within the next year, Jason will be very happy because I'll be getting rid of my beater bar. I want to upgrade, I guess, quote unquote, my $40 Titan axle bar and get the knurled axle bar from Black Widow Training Gear. And then I will use that as my beater bar. And then I want to get rid of my beater bar and get a Texas deadlift bar in bare steel. So those are the 2 barbell upgrades, hopefully sometime in the next 8 to 12 months that I'll make. And then that would be the one bar that I would get rid of because you don't really need a beater bar.
How much are you going to sell that for?
Which one? The beater bar?
The beater bar. Yeah.
We'll probably post it for free. Whoever can come pick it up the fastest.
200.
You're just going to get 7 people to ask you to deliver it to the inner city. That's all. Right. That's all I ever get.
Yeah. Can you hold this? Trade it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have more barbells that I could probably part ways with than barbells that I really hold near and dear to me. I just don't get that emotional with them. I would say that the first one to go, if I was which one am I going to get rid of first? I don't even remember what it's called, but it's the 5-foot Rogue. So I have the Rogue stump bar, which is cool because it's rackable. And then I have that other one that they had before that is not rackable. I'm sure if Carp was still with us, he would know exactly what it is. But I thought it would be a good straight curl bar or whatever. And it was great whenever I had the preacher curl bench thing in here. But I didn't really use it for that. I don't know. It's one that I don't know it probably still has that cardboard fucking powder.
Stuck in the knurling.
Yeah, that comes out of the tube,
Yeah.
That one could go first. And then I just could go down the line until I could probably get away with just having one barbell for the stuff that I do. But here I am. And then all my specialty bars, those are a little bit harder because I do actually use those probably more collectively. But there's only so much bench, squat, and deadlift that I do where, I need more than one bar to do it with.
What about you, Jake? What would you get rid of? I know it's you have so many bars. It's hard. Okay, so let's narrow it down. Bars that you use and bars that you've used in the last 3 months or so that you plan on keeping. Which one would you get rid of? Not just something you have sitting in your basement that's just, never going to get used again.
Yeah, well, I've actually ditched a lot of the bars over the last couple of years, so I pretty much have, I have a little bit of extra bars, but Yeah, I don't have as many as I used to. Like I got rid of a lot of the basic multi-purpose bars that you kind of get while you're collecting or while you're doing reviews and stuff. But I, out of the ones I've actually used, if I had to get rid of one, I have an actual squat bar, like the 32 millimeter thick that I remember buying thinking, oh, this will be cool. Like I own a squat bar. I have not touched I've touched it maybe like twice just for shits and gigs over the last like 3 years.
It's like 96 inches long, right? Aren't they?
Yeah,
Are they 8 feet?
Yeah, they're big. Which company? Oh, you don't have to say if you don't want to disclose.
No, it's iCell Fitness. Do you remember iCell
Yeah,
Fitness?
I was talking to someone about that the other day. How they just died and just disappeared recently.
Stop selling fitness.
Yeah,
I think they're still around. I think he sells a lot of local stuff.
I used to sell fitness.
I sell local now.
I mean, I think he had like real big aspirations, and then I'm not real sure, what happened to him, but
oh shit, he's back.
There he is.
Carp, not ISF.
Talking about big aspirations and
I don't know what I lost. It
right.
just was
Tough
spinning.
crap.
No, I mean, I searched iCell Fitness and
He's still there.
looks like USA shipping, free New Jersey pickups. Looks like there might be like a location in Florida to pick up or something. But I mean, it looks like he's just reselling stuff.
Okay.
So, but like they've got like stair climbers, specialty machines, like leg press, cable crossovers. So, yeah, still around.
I definitely think
I mean, the equipment was decent. It's been fine.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a fair bar to get rid of, though. If you're not powerlifting or have like super beat up shoulders and like have to squat out, like basically touching the collars because you can't like get in tight, like other than like if you're not doing either of those, it's not a reason to have a squat bar unless you want to. I see some people like will bench with their squat bar just to avoid having to buy like an axle or something. But what about you, Carp? The question was what if you had to purge one bar out of your gym today, what would it be?
I was thinking about that. It'd probably be one of the chewy bars because I have two different versions. And they're probably the two that have the most value that I currently have. Most of my bars are around 300. Those are quite a bit more besides the Kabuki deadlift bar. As far as power bars go, it'd probably be one of those because it probably has a better resale value too. So if I had to sell it, I'd probably get more money out of that one than I would one of the other ones. So that's I'd be one of those. I go back and forth between which one I like the best. I've got the 20 and the 25 TPI. And I mean, some days I like the 25, some days I like the 20. So I like having both, but I mean, I would probably keep the more aggressive one, which would be the 20, but I like them both depending on what I'm doing. So
Were they worth the cost?
I think so. I got them both either secondhand or blemished. So around $500, $550, something like that. And I think they go for almost 700 shipped. So 600 plus, I think. So for me, yes, because I've had other bars like Kabuki that are $500 bar plus. And I like them better than those. So, but I did have the black oxide version, which for me in Tennessee is not a good combination because we have a lot of humidity and oxidation. I really don't have any bare steel bars right now because of that. So something that at least has a chrome or zinc coating at the minimum. I've had bare steel bars in the past, but there's a lot of upkeep and they don't look good after a while.
Cool. All right, let's move on to. So everyone here has a very established home gym. Basically everything you need, you're kind of just you're probably just upgrading and then just like buying when something cool comes out or when the urge comes. Correct me if I'm wrong. But with that being said, where are you guys buying most of your equipment, or just in general, where are you guys keeping an eye out for new equipment?
Yeah, so for me, I'm definitely in that boat of, I mean, I could say that I'm done, but you know how you're never done. But at this point, I have all the big pieces, and I have more small pieces than I probably need as well. But places that I'm shopping now are like places like Black Widow Training Gear. I mean, doing like custom things or one-off, new items. Little places like that are creating niche items, things that are not really going to be on your, top 20 items for your home gym. That's just kind of the place that I'm at. So
yeah, I mean, I'm a rogue guy more or less. Like, I mean, I've got a lot of other company stuff, but I'm I don't know. I like American made in general. I mean, I'm to the point now, like Chip, I'm not really adding anything. Eventually I might get a combo rack, and I don't know where I'd get that from, but like I'm not paying a lot of attention to a lot of the other companies. Like I don't know, I'm spoiled, I guess. So give me pretty much everything that I already have is the companies I guess I'm not looking at too many other companies that I already own stuff from, essentially. Like, as far as to add, like, I recommend Rep and Bells of Steel and Titan to people all the time, but I'm not personally going to go out of my way to buy much from them for my personal gym. I wouldn't mind getting another pair of roller cups from Irwin, though, at some point, but I don't really have $600 to spend right now.
Sorry, man, my kid is.
I was just gonna say, Irwin, he has one sale a year, and it's the what is that, the boxing sale or whatever they do at the end of the year,
yeah,
at Christmas time, the
Boxing Day.
Monday after Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm buying a lot of stuff these days. Some of my more recent purchases have been like a couple of things from Oak Club, and that's mostly just because, kind of like Chip said, they make some like niche items that no one else really makes, and I do like the way that their stuff looks. Prime Fitness is one that I look out for clearly because MW Pig 5 saves 5%. Prime Fitness, but also they just happen to have a few items that usually check my very specific and high standard boxes. But I mean, as you know, I've been buying shit from them long before MW Pig 5 saved 5%. Now, recently though, I did order the VTS Lite from Bulletproof. I have had buyer's remorse ever since. I don't really know why I did that, but here I am. I guess it's just another one of those things that I do to fill the emotional void that my childhood trauma has created.
Now, what do you think the resale value is going to be on that if you do and end up letting go of it, because it is such a niche piece? And like,
What's that? Prime shit or Oak Club
no,
shit?
VTS.
It's
Bulletproof.
nothing. It's not worth shit. It's not going to be worth shit. None of this stuff that I have has resale value. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you
'cause
pay.
it's
Like
so
I'm
niche.
so far, and I'm so far upside down in all of it. You know what I mean? Like because it's not like I just went out and was like, I'm just going to buy the best thing. I've bought so many things and lost money just to get them out of my face, to buy something else, to get them whatever. Until now, I've got this. Like I look out here sometimes and I have a commercial gym in my garage, like my own personal commercial gym to fit whatever need or want that I want. It's insane. So yeah, I don't even think about that resale stuff. I mean, I just posted some fucking rubber bands or whatever because I feel weird throwing them in the trash can. You know what I mean?
Inertia wave.
Like that.
The inertia
yeah,
wave.
that too. Yeah, that. Yeah. Chip and the guy that sells inertia waves are the only people that I've ever seen use those. And I threw one up on Facebook hoping somebody else would feel as sorry for me as I felt for the guy who fucking sells them. But
I see a lot of the stuff you post. It'll still show up on like my feed on Marketplace, and I'm just like, yeah, he's not shipping that. That's a really good price for that barbell that I wouldn't mind adding, but I'm not driving to Tulsa to get it.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's usually, man, Tulsa sucks. I mean, it is. I don't know if everywhere else is this way. It's always been that way. It was fine. Like I had adopted this kind of mindset because I've had home gym equipment or whatever, like before pandemic and stuff. And if you could get rid of something and not at a yard sale or whatever, if you could buy something and get rid of it and get a little bit back, you were doing pretty good. During COVID, it was like that whole weird ability to buy something, try it, sell it, and either like make some money or at least break even, you know what I mean? Or lose 20 or $30 or whatever to try something out like that. That whole thing is like, it was never really like a cash cow in Tulsa. I mean, it was more abundant and able to sell stuff, like at least sell a Titan product for $20 or $30 less than you paid for it. Where now I'm like paying somebody $20 to haul it away.
Right.
But it's just in this area, I realize that my $600 American barbell bar is not going to be my most profitable barbell whenever I go to resell it. Like I would probably be better off selling the Rogue. Remember the Black Friday special that they had of the stainless steel bar with the black sleeves or whatever?
Yeah.
I got that one, and I'd probably do best to see if I was looking at like minimizing my losses. That one would probably be the barbell that I have that I could sell and lose the least. Just is what it is. But
See, I'm kind of in a different situation because I overanalyze every purchase that I make. Like I read all the reviews, I watch all of the YouTube videos, I Google it, I check the Facebook groups. And And just, for the last couple of years, if I buy something, it's like I know I'm going to use it. I already know how I'm going to incorporate it into my training. So the whole buy something and then try to resell it later thing is just not even on my radar at this point.
Yeah, I kind of figured that when you were in the next 12 months, I'm going to buy a barbell. I'm
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
A lot of my decisions are money. Am I going to make $3,000 overtime this year and decide to skip a trip? Okay, cool. I can buy another piece of gym equipment. If not, then I'm in a holding pattern. All my money is going towards going to conventions and trips. I've got limited expendable income at the moment.
Yeah, mine is I'm at a place right now where I'm what could I move out to get something in so I can have something, and maybe in a year, if I buy this thing from Prime, the beauty of them having a fucking 52-week lead time or whatever on some of their shit is that maybe I'll have a place for it by then. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll have this problem solved of what to do with all my tools and stuff.
It is funny. My buddy Tanner at Massonomics was looking at the Prime dumbbell rack recently, and I was on their episode last week, and he was talking about and when I got quoted a 1-year waiting list, I just tapped out. There was no it's a $6,000 item, and they want me to wait a year or whatever, and I'm yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's actually the one I'm looking at. I think it's 25.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not $6,000, but it's more than a couple.
But I have 2 dumbbell rack things now, and so I can wait a year, and it gives me a year to figure out how I'm going to explain where that one came from.
All right, we lost Carp.
Yeah, someone should tell him to try his phone. I think he's going to have better luck on his phone than he has a 10-year-old tablet, probably. But,
Is that what he's using?
He said he was using a tablet, and I don't know that unless he has a new tablet. His phone's definitely going to have better internet than a tablet.
The camera quality looked like he might be using a flip phone, like a Motorola flip phone.
So potato,
Nokia.
Well, I mean, I can add my answer. I think I'm personally kind of waiting for rep releases. They seem to keep getting better and better, specifically the specialty items. I think there's some cool ones there. I actually Jason, I'd be curious to hear why you're regretting the VTS purchase. I think those look kind of cool. And you seem like maybe the type person that would appreciate the bulletproof stuff.
I think that it's because what I really want is a dedicated Smith machine. And I feel like what this is fucking Pandora's box. I'm going to get this thing and it's a little different, right? It's going straight up and down. I've only got one set of uprights, but I have a plan for how I'm going to adapt that, and I have enough barbells I can just leave that shit on there. But I feel like it's going to be one of those things that's not really going to satisfy that need, but it's going to be enough to get me to go maybe if I knock a wall down, I can fit it. You know what I mean? And then I just have this brain space dedicated to this idea of getting a true dedicated Smith machine, knowing that I really can't have it. So it's supposed to satisfy that need or that desire or want or whatever. But my fear is that it's going to create something more that, just a bigger void to fill.
Got it.
But no, I think it'll be fine. I know it won't be as nice as a true linear bearing, at an angle, and you've used a Smith machine before. It won't be like that, I'm sure, but who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised.
Well, I guess we'll skip Carp for this one. What's your take when you hear about all of the lawsuits happening within the home gym industry? Actually, Carp's coming in.
There he is.
Hey, Carp.
What's up, man?
Answer this question before we move on to the next one. So, where are you buying most of your gym equipment these days?
Kind of like you guys. If I'm getting something nice or high end, it's probably going to be coming from a smaller company, like a Surplus or a Black Widow. I've got a couple of their things recently. But more recently, it's been off of Marketplace, actually, kind of weird. I've got lucky recently with a couple of good items, like well-known items, like a C2 rower or like an assault bike, stuff like that, and a few barbells here and there, name brands that people are either trying to get rid of or they probably bought it during the rush, and then now they're not working out at home, or they're just trying to get rid of it. So, or people moving. I've had a couple where people are moving across the U.S. and they're like, we just need to sell these 3 things, this rig and this thing, and just make an offer while you're there. Like I was going to pick up a kid's pull-up bar for $20, and I was like, okay, how much you want for the, the assault bike or whatever, and throw my offer. There I had it listed for 600. You get it for like $200 or $150. You can keep it, use it, or flip it, whatever you want to do. But recently, I've had a couple good buys like that. So marketplace around here is seeming to get better. But when I sell things, it's I'm not making any money. I'm losing 20% or whatever. That's normally what I do if I'm trying to buy a new item. Is I'll look around and say, kind of like Jason, what do I want to get rid of, and use that to try to fund the next item, because I really don't spend a lot out of pocket. It's usually whatever's here gets reevaluated into something else. Like right now, I'm doing strongman, so I've sold a couple bars and things, and then I need to get a log or an axle bar or something like that, and use that money to kind of move things around. And when my training changes, that may happen again, but for right now, that's kind of what's going on for me.
All right, let's go on to that question now. What's your take when you hear about all the lawsuits happening within the home gym industry?
So if we rewind a year ago-ish, when all the drama went down with Mutant Metals, UDA and Rogue, Velocidor and all that stuff, I think most people kind of understood, like, patents are expensive. Patents are difficult to, uphold. It takes a lot of financial backing to be able to do all of that. And if you're a company that has the financial means to protect your IP or protect your patents, you're in a position where you can do that. And I really can't fault any company for that.
That's the neighbors, man. He's going to work.
Can't really fault any company for, if they had those financial means, using them, if they feel like, they have a legal argument. So I think that's just kind of the world that we're living in right now.
I was wondering who makes that decision of, like, all right, is it more a matter of saving face in the principle? Because you're not going to, are you going to lose more money by the sales that you lose by the competitor's cheaper product? Or are you going to lose more money by investing 30 grand in a lawsuit and all that? Like, that's where I'm more curious of who kind of, how many times are people not getting sued just because they're just it's not worth it? That's, imagine that has to happen dramatically more than we even realize. People just let shit go because they're it's not worth it. So it has kind of been different the last year or so, seeing multiple companies kind of coming out and doing it.
Yeah, there's some of that, and then also there's some of the when the Chinese companies do it, when you shut one of them down, the next time a week later, 4 more of them open right back up. I know that's what the issue is with the Prime knockoffs on Amazon. They're really good knockoffs on Amazon for a fraction of the price or whatever. And that's what his response to that was every time we shut one down, another one opens up. At the end of the day, just is what it is. I think for me, the lawsuits, they don't really bother me. I mean, I don't even think I would have an opinion about it. I mean, the only reason why I even have one now is because you asked for it and I had to think through whether or not I'd give a shit, and I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like Chip said, you can't really demand that companies have a patent in place and then get pissed off whenever they take action, whenever they do have one in place and they utilize it or whatever. I think a lot of companies like Rogue, my understanding when you're a bigger company like that is you have I would assume that they would have a legal team on staff, and that they set out to I mean, yeah, there are still going to be filing fees and court costs and all that kind of stuff involved, but you already have something in place to protect that when you have that many patents and stuff, like what Bill Himmiger does. It's a little bit different than your local guy, Bulletproof Fitness dude who, I don't know how many he has or what he's got going on. I just assume it's him with a patent and him with a lawyer that he pays every time he goes to tell Matt Pendergraft to cease and desist or whatever. You know what I mean? But but again, you can't fault them for having it in place and for protecting it.
What about you, buddy?
I mean, I'm kind of like Jason. It doesn't bother me. I kind of don't like it when I see a large company like a Rogue or somebody like that, even a Eleiko or something like that goes after a small guy or independent shop, especially if they're doing something that's twist on it. Like if it's a knurled handle version or it's got something different, the angles are different or something like that. That's kind of one thing that kind of bothers me. But as far as I'm for competition. So I say whoever builds the best one should win. If somebody has something similar to you, then you should improve yours or make a better product, in my opinion. So a lot of those small shops, they're not just going out copying stuff. I mean, there's some that are, but most of them are trying to do something different or doing something they asked for. Perfect example was the Chip Fig Jammer. That was something he went to Black Widow about and said, "Hey, man, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I can't find out there. There may be something similar, or somebody else may have one, but it doesn't do what I want it to do." And that's something where I think those small shops and they can usually do like custom colors and things like that. Or these big companies, they just want to give you a black one and send it out, matte black or whatever, maybe a texture powder coat and just ship it out. Or these other guys can do green, different colors and stuff like that, and special knurling. So
Hey,
that's
man,
the way
I'll
I
have
look
you
at it. I
know-
mean, it doesn't really bother me that
He's a
multiple
good
people have the
puppy.
same type item.
I will have you know that I paid extra for basic bitch black.
Yeah, if you're trying to match your scheme, I get it.
I had to match my Titan wrist roller. Definitely didn't want to get rid of that.
How much money are you spending a year at McMaster's, Jason?
You know what? That is how I justified this. When I had the Rogue rack, I was constantly trying to build shit with it or off of it or make it do things that it wasn't designed to do. And McMaster, I kept them. I mean, their stock price probably fucking plummeted whenever I got rid of that rack. I don't do that shit anymore. Like, I'm not really. I don't have to.
You didn't black out all your knobs and shit at least and do all that with the Prime?
I did do that at first. Yeah, I did. And I've kind of brought some of this is like the gayest thing I'm ever going to say. But I like when I got the other machines, I was like, I tallied up what it was going to cost to replace all the green on those. And it's not the knobs so much. It's the knurled handles from JD Gym Equipped. They're great. Mm-hmm. They just get really fucking expensive when you have so many to replace. And it was going to end up being,
I gotcha.
Yeah, by the time I did that with those, and then there's still like green on the stickers and stuff, that I would never be able to get rid of. So I just kind of embraced it. But yeah, it was going to be, I think I added it up. It was going to be like another $1,200 or something like that to replace just on the machines. And I was like, nah, fuck this. I'm out. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day,
just learn to like green.
I hate that they're fucking plastic. Like, I think that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to stick me with, like, face fuck me with green, then at least give me some, like, nice aluminum or something like that. You know what I mean?
That would be as bad.
Plastic bullshit, but whatever.
Makes sense. Now, do you use your code when you buy from Prime now? Or do you, ethically not? I mean, I'm always curious about people that use their own codes at places.
I have, I get 10% off. If I did use my code, it would be the same thing, right? Except I'd have to pay tax on half of it. Because I would save 5%, and then I would get a 5% kickback.
The kickback, yeah, that makes sense.
And so, but then on the kickback, I'd have to pay taxes. So at least whenever I use my 10% discount, so I did order. I got 10% off of the bench, and then the bench accessories or whatever. That's the only thing I've used it for so far, and it was cool. But when you spend like $1,800 on a bench and you save like $32, it's a little bit less. Yeah, that's exciting. But I was going to buy it anyway, so it's cool.
Makes sense.
All right. So in general, most people don't really care.
They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I asked the question. I was curious. I mean, it's similar to like the
good
Made in
meme.
USA. There's plenty of like other topics that people think may be way more important than they are. Like Made in USA. So
at the end of the day, it's good meme. It's good meme content. So there's always that.
Right. Yeah.
You can always make some good memes out of it.
All right. What are there's been a lot of product teases by a number of different companies over the last 6 months. Are there any that you're especially excited about?
I wouldn't mind seeing once American Barbell finally comes out with that deadlift bar. I don't know that I would pay that much money for another deadlift bar, but a stainless steel bar would be cool. But the one thing I can't get over, at least, is the early pictures is like the tapered collar. It just looks so goofy. It's like a cone almost. I don't know that I could have that on a bar and like be like, oh, that's my bar. I'm proud of that. But I don't know. But I still would like to feel the knurling on the handle and actually see what American Barbell could do with a deadlift bar and like kind of, see if it was worth it. But that's the only other thing that jumps to mind right now.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that I've seen as a teaser or whatever. I thought the Adonis was cool. I know it's not a teaser anymore now that you can like pre-order it or whatever, but I haven't really, I am personally not excited for the Prime leg extension thing. And I'm actually a little bit bitter that, I haven't seen what they're going to do with it. I can't think of what else is like coming out, anything.
I have
the
something,
deadlift
Jason.
bar, what is it?
That's something that you sent me, that Metal Man Pro.
Is it? I thought we decided that was not actually anything that comes out, that's just a kid who does renders. Does Metal Man?
So this guy he's got 45 posts, but we're not sure that he's actually sold any pieces of equipment yet.
It's 45 posts, and all 45 are renders of shit.
But the J cups that can also like be extended to be like a monolith.
Yeah, those look cool.
Like if that was an actual product, because other piece with that is the J cups can be like
They
raised
detach,
or lowered by like a 1-inch increment.
That'd be huge.
So you're essentially getting like west side spacing in your J cups with those. But again, I don't know if he's actually selling or not, but I'm going to pretend like he is going to sell it at some point. I think those are really cool.
Yeah. You might be ready for them by the time they come out.
Right.
After all your research.
12 to 18 months.
Take him a fucking year to buy a new beater bar.
Yeah. You just got to make sure. You never know if you're going to get the right beater bar. Put a lot of effort into that.
Never gets old.
That Middleman Pro guy, I don't think he has sold anything. So he has reached out looking for like distributor potential people to work with, and I don't think he's had any luck with anybody in the US, and I think that's the goal. So I mean, his stuff does, like, a lot of his stuff does look, some of it looks a little too intense, and then some of it looks really cool.
Yeah. The other thing that I saw the other day that Jason also sent me was the new dip attachment from Irwin.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that was pretty unique. Pretty cool concept.
That does look cool.
Anything you can store without having to move it is definitely a plus one.
Does anybody know anything about the new Kabuki bar? The new, like, transformer?
Sorry. No.
No, I don't either.
It's a take on a transformer bar, because I know they pumped out what was the 28 millimeter power bar that came out a few months ago. Wasn't the Columbia, was it? Or that was the one from last
Oregon
year.
Power bar.
Yeah,
Oregon,
which
right.
is basically just their way to like sell a $300 power bar or whatever. Like that's not as good as. I mean, I guess it's good to have a baseline option, but no, I've never heard of the one you just mentioned. But
Well, in the Arnold, they had a transformer attachment that they did with the squat. So I don't know if it's something to do with that or what. But
I think it's something
I
like
seen
that,
the bar
yeah.
you're talking about.
like a clip-on specialty SSB making kind of thing. That's interesting.
Yeah, like it attached to whatever they were lifting behind, and that's how they went up and down with the whatever it was. I don't know if it was on an axis, like a.
Oh, so it's not really. It's more of a piece of equipment than a bar then.
Yeah, it was like an attachment to, like the wooden basket thing that raises up the weights back here, and they had it like a harness, that Kabuki transformer bar type thing that attached to it. I don't know if that's not the same bar, I don't think, but it was like something I've never seen before that they made for the Arnold.
Sounds like doing a hack squat with like a Viking press kind of thing, and with a harness.
It was in the strongman competition.
Speaking of strongman, Chip, why are you going with the knurled axle over a smooth axle?
Why not?
Well, no, I mean, just like, what's your goal to use the axle? Because like I'm in the market for an axle myself. Like my next purchase will probably be a custom axle that has the collars like about 3 inches out wider on each side to accommodate my floor joist, so I can do overhead press without having to jerry rig it up with like extra collars and shit. So. But I
was just saying. So the axle I have, like I got it from Titan probably like 5 or 6 years ago,
I gotcha.
and it's like spray painted black. Every time you put plates on or take them off, like it scrapes the paint off. It is the bare bones minimum axle bar, and I don't want to upgrade my axle bar to like just a standard powder coat, for $100, $140.
What movements?
I'd rather
do you
spend
do with your
$200
axle?
on a knurled one.
What do you use your axle for specifically?
Basically, it just presses.
Okay, so you're okay. So you're not doing cleans with it or deadlifts or anything.
And I have deadlifted with it, and maybe I would more if I had a knurled axle. I've actually kind of convinced myself that I'll use it more if I do upgrade it than I do now.
I mean, I can see the advantage of having both. I'm dabbling in some strongman every now and then, and I've really enjoyed being able to do like clean and presses. Like I'd never done a clean and press until like 6 months ago or something. I was like, oh, that's
right.
It's like a fun athletic movement that I can kind of do and like not hurt myself. But like if I'm going to do it to train for a competition, it's got to be on a slick as shit bar. So
I absolutely hate this axle bar. I can't wait to get rid of it.
You're going to have to give it away.
Yeah, no, I'll probably just throw it out in the dumpster. I don't even want to pass that off to anybody else.
Got it. Sorry, I was looking at the Transformer X bar. It just looks like a pad that you put a bar on. They partnered with AbMat to design and manufacture the most comfortable and highest performing squat pad ever made. keeping you locked in and reducing the variability in position with traditional tube pads.
So no handles or anything. It's just like a molded thing that it's almost like a manta ray then, but like bigger.
Or like a Mars bar.
Man, I can't really tell. Here, let me share my screen.
Well, Duffin will be at Home Gym Con, right? We can ask him in a couple weeks. If it's not there.
Transformer X Bar, the latest evolution of Kabuki's flagship bar. Fibonacci inspired perfect squat positioning. So
I don't get it.
Yeah,
don't
I think
either.
that's kind of what they did without collars on it, kind of attached to that strongman thing. I think that's pretty similar to what it was.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
So it's a bar pad.
But it
like-
also has adjustments? I don't get it. How can you adjust a bar pad? Like how can
Yeah, like it was on
okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There's no, are handles supposed to fit into those grooves and the way the handle goes in and not, that's strange.
I don't know, man.
I'm very intrigued.
It's like an even bigger, like you can't even hide that. If you want to use a tampon thing, that's for those who are like, fuck it, I'm not even going to buy an SSB. I'm just going to get this thing.
I mean, I could potentially be a buyer of this because I've got that big lump on my neck now, like that I can't high bar squat anymore because I literally have like a medical thing. But I can SSB fine, even though it's like the exact same position. But as long as I have a pad on, and I've thought about like I could just get the old like pussy pad, but I don't know. I can't bring myself to buy one currently because I'll just low bar and then Duffalo low bar and SSB for the time being. But I guess if I had to get back into high bar squatting, just because like my shoulders or elbows couldn't take it, I would have to get a pad of some sort, I guess. But I don't think
So
it would be that.
you just need Kabuki to make it not a pussy pad.
I guess I don't know.
Like, okay, I mean, I get it.
It could be a. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some play on that word, but I'm not gonna go there.
Right.
But now that is intriguing. I am curious what I will see at Home Gym Con. Like how many people actually bring in stuff. Like one of your awards is like best unveiling or best new product, or right. So curious of who actually holds off on saving something for Home Gym Con, which we think Rep might, just because they couldn't go to the Arnold because they had that whole fiasco of getting banned for a year. So I'm curious if they're actually holding on to anything small, like to actually have like a little unveiling at Home Gym Con or not.
Jake smirking like he knows the answer to that.
I think there's things that are up in the air. Not sure if things are going to be ready. I think that is the. A lot of the companies are. It's coming down to the wire as to like if they're going to get their products in time for Home Gym Con. But there are definitely things that are going to be released at Home Gym Con that I haven't been able to like market, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be some cool stuff there that no one has ever seen before, for sure. Maybe the Transformer X bar.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, the Transformer. I believe the Transformer X bar is going to be there. Chris Duffin's coming, and he's going to highlight some of the new bars, like live.
That'd be cool.
With the microphone. So should be pretty cool.
Yeah, because Kabuki doesn't have a booth, right? He's just partnering with some other company that's there, right?
Right. So Kabuki's coming with Mayhem Strength.
Okay, they're sharing that
And
spot. Okay.
all of their bars should be there. So
Sweet.
all right.
Kabuki Power Bar is still my favorite bar, even with all the other ones that I have.
Yeah, I enjoy mine still. It's a keeper.
All right. And then lastly, I mean, you guys, we can go as long as you want, but who are your favorite fitness or home gym con on the brain or home gym content creators?
Jake Jaworski, right? Home Gym Con.
And you can also say who your least favorite are too.
Oh,
Besides Coach Carp, besides Carp's gym and Man Who Parks
yeah.
gym,
It's the least, right?
those are my two favorites.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. No, you guys are good. And actually, Jason's video, I don't know if you guys know, Jason has a YouTube now. Definitely subscribe. It's good stuff. But longtime follower, really enjoy Basement Brandon. I don't know if that's because I consider myself somewhat of a budget Brandon, but I think Brandon does a pretty good job of kind of balancing, equipment, training, random stuff, kind of all into, various posts on his channel. I think he does a good job of kind of just talking off the cuff, one take shots that are just like, if you've ever tried to record yourself doing a review or talking on camera, it's very, very difficult. And the other person I really enjoy watching is Kurt Locker. I think he does a really good job just kind of being thorough, spending a lot of time with stuff, for a period of time, making sure that he understands what he's talking about in the video. So I think both those guys do a pretty good job of bringing out good information for people.
I'm on the more vintage side. I watch all of Rob's stuff and anything Efren puts out on Instagram and stuff. I always consume that because that's definitely more my wheelhouse. As far as the vintage, Brandon definitely covers a lot of the powerlifting, more specific stuff I'm into. Gluck's always a good time, and I always, I seldom can watch a video without at least smirking a couple times at his stuff. As far as least favorite and one that I don't trust, obviously, Coop, I don't really trust anything that comes from GGR the last couple of years, and I think most people, know why. I still watch a lot of it just because it's like, it's still relevant, and if you're in the community, you still want to know what everyone else is putting out. So, but there's a lot of his stuff that I will just fast forward through or just not consume all of it all. But if it's anything barbell related, I'm typically watching. But like the best $200 squat rack, I'm not watching anymore. But if he actually gets a real barbell in, is about the only stuff I really pay attention to it actually. And then I'll compare that to everyone else's video and just see how like you can kind of tell that he literally just got the script 5 minutes ago and didn't actually get his hands on the bar, whereas most other people actually do a real review.
So you're watching garbage gym reviews just so
sometimes
that you can be like, yep, totally garbage.
Yep. Sometimes.
Awesome.
I will say one thing on that. Like, I see some of those videos recently, and it's like a barbell review, and it's like got a 35 or a 45 on the bar, saying it's the best bar ever, or this machine, like a leg press or something, is being used with a 45-pound plate. And I'm like, dude, if you go to any commercial gym, the people are putting 10 plates on a leg press. Like, even guys that aren't strong can do multiple plates on the leg press. So something like that, I'm like, are you really testing it? Are you really using it? Obviously you're not, because you're just showing the range of motion and you're not really putting it through any kind of paces. So when I do a review, I try to like actually use the bar. Like, I'm not the strongest guy in the world, I'm not the most fit, but I actually try to like, what would I want to know if I bought this bar? Like, can you do these multiple movements? And like a lot of times I'll throw questions out there and let y'all, the community guys, ask me some stuff, and then I'll try to answer those in the review. It makes for a longer video, but it's more like I'm more like Kurt Locker, I think, in that aspect. Like, I want to give you guys the answers you want. I want to give it to the community where not everybody's like that. They're just trying to get the quick link or whatever. Like, I have affiliate links too, but that's not what I'm all about. Like, I'm not making any money. So it's more of a thing for fun, and like kind of what I like to do is a kind of a hobby type thing. So I just try to be thorough as possible. And then I like watching guys that do that too. Like Kurt Locker's a good example of that. Brandon, he's very strong. He's a elite masters power lifter. So, what he says is probably pretty good advice. And then like one that y'all didn't mention that I like too is like, or a couple guys like Gray Matter Lifting, Big Joe Gray over there. He does the garage gym competition. I like a lot of his stuff. He's pretty thorough as well. He'll do like year-end reviews or 2 years down the road reviews, stuff like that. And then John Greaves III, he started that morning show he's been doing the last couple of weeks. It's kind of a long show, but like a lot of times when I'm working or driving, I can just let it play in the background, and he has guests on there and things like that. He's had Jake on there and some other guys like Kurt Locker. And those are a couple of guys I like to watch, like their stuff. And it seems like they're, relatable. And I enjoy what they bring to the table.
Yeah, I saw John putting a lot of effort into that recently. Am I missing it? Like, he doesn't put it out on a podcast though, right? It's only YouTube or or behind a paywall, right?
No, it's a live stream every Friday morning.
Yeah, on YouTube though. I'm not gonna walk around with my phone on in my pocket. I'm not paying for YouTube Premium, so I don't really get it. I'm not consuming long form content on YouTube, like audio only. That is typically so.
Yeah, it's like a live stream, and then at the end, when it's done, it saves it to his page or whatever, his YouTube. So you can go on and watch it. You don't have to pay for it or anything. It's free.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's hard to listen to if you're not a YouTube Premium member.
Yeah, because I want to just have a podcast on in my work truck, and I can just like skip,
Right.
to get stuff like that. And if I'm having to have my phone on the whole time and like deal with the ads on YouTube, and I get why, like obviously everyone's got to make revenue. If he's full time, he's got to get the the YouTube ad revenue, and it's just easier for him to put it at one place. But I don't know. For me, it's just easier to consume audio via podcast.
I do like what he's doing though. I think like he's
got a lot of people
putting
on.
a ton of effort into it, and it's pretty. He's got the personality to do like the 3 hour like just talk most of the time.
Yeah, him and Kayvon had a long episode. That's where we learned that like Kurt asking Kayvon in a chat or whatever about Massonomics is how that whole dropped. That actually came out on John's podcast before anyone else even announced it. So we were like all DMing Tanner to confirm, and he's like, "Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag now." So it's cool that there's breaking news going on that.
I also like No Fate. No Fate will just say whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you guys.
John's a good guy.
Yeah,
Jonathan,
very good guy.
His audio catches me off guard sometimes when he has those dings, and I'm like, is my phone going off? And I'm like, son of a bitch, what's going on?
But he keeps it moving for sure.
Oh yeah,
I watch this stuff too.
Yeah, oddly, my social media feed is almost entirely like travel destinations. It's actually pretty rare that I see a lot of like fitness or home gym content. I mean, I scroll and stuff, but I just don't. I don't see it. You guys stay, probably because I engage with you or interact with you and stuff. So you guys pretty much stay at the top of my feed. Unless somebody releases like a goddamn heavy mug, or if Rep or Rogue releases like a picture of a big ticket item, then every influencer like steals the picture so they can repost it and be the first one to do it and get all the likes and shares and comments and stuff and all that stuff. Then I'll see content that way. But I guess, like for YouTube and stuff, I guess maybe like Sam Sulek. And it's not that I just think he's like a fitness guru or that I just love the guy or anything like that. Sometimes I turn him on because he has like big, long, boring videos. And I'll turn it on while I'm lifting. And it's basically like I'm lifting weights with my gym bro who doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And it's cool. It kind of sounds like him in a gym and all that kind of stuff. Instagram, like there's a guy named Paul Carter, Lift Run Bang. I don't know if you've ever seen him or not, but he shows up on my feed and somehow I'll read his captions or something. He usually has a lot of good information to share. And then also the Sober Bodybuilder, another guy on Instagram that somehow catches my attention from time to time and shares some pretty good information on weightlifting. Otherwise, I guess, I engage with Garage Gym Experiment through email and then also on Instagram and one time on accident through Facebook. And we were both like, whoa, what the fuck is this? like, let's go back to Instagram. This is fucking weird. And then Mark, Flex Marks the Spot. He and I usually talk from time to time, kind of behind the scenes. The same with Adrian Gluck from time to time. I don't know, man. Social media is weird. But that's pretty much when it comes to reviews and things like that. Like I don't even watch them. I mean, I just don't even like. I feel like I've gotten so like to the like I'm just gonna whatever it is. I'm gonna make up. If I want it, I'm probably gonna buy it, and I'm gonna make my own opinion. And no matter what it is that I can like Chip says he watches for reviews and just rakes it over. I get so jaded with all that stuff because I feel like it's all just, I don't know, somebody trying to sell me something or whatever, where I'm only looking at the items that are being reviewed and they're only being reviewed because there is an affiliation or there's a, you know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know. I don't even absorb most of that stuff, I feel like.
Did you watch any of No Way Jose's stuff? Because you and him have got a lot of the same products with all the Prime equipment. He's been putting out a lot of the same, I think he's got a lot of the same stuff you've recently acquired. And he's done like some pretty in-depth YouTube videos on them.
I have, God, you're going to get me. If I have started some of them and I have watched some. So Jose and I are buddies. I've talked about him before in previous podcasts, and I think we had to cut it out for whatever it just
yes, I remember
too long or something. Jose and I say buddies. We probably enable each other. We're probably really bad influences on each other. Yeah, I have started and watched some of those, but we ordered our machines at the same time. And it wasn't like it was a matter of like, well, let me watch his and see, we both have talked about what we like and dislike about them and things like that. I don't like, for me, like to make content and stuff, like I just can't even imagine myself doing like a whole ass review like that. Like even like Carp, man, it's all those guys that do those, Brandon, like the like a whole, the best I could probably do is like a half-ass review, maybe, but like, I'm more like, this is what I like. And here's how I've fixed the shit that I don't like. Or if I can't fix it, then maybe I can at least bitch about it enough so that in the next version, they'll fix it or something. You know what I mean? So those guys that do that, man, it's a lot of respect for those who take the time, like Garage Gym Lab Adam guy, man, that dude, he's one of the best. You know what I mean? Like he really is like very fucking thorough. And I'll watch an entire 15-minute video. I really like short form content. Like a couple of minutes, in and out, tell me what I need to know or whatever, but I'll somehow watch an entire, I forgot about him whenever I was thinking through this, but yeah, that guy usually shares very thorough, and and he's entertaining at the same time, somehow captures my attention. So a lot of respect to those guys who can do that. Especially
Adam's articles are just as good as well. So,
yeah, for sure. What's that? What are you drinking in that Stanley Cup, in that Target Stanley Cup over there, Jake? I just saw the big pink cup. I assumed.
It's just water.
I thought maybe you got one of those $1,000 Target Stanleys.
Oh, we got a few of them.
Yeah. Sometimes I just don't want fucking Lars Ulrich banging in my eardrums for 45 minutes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I don't even, like a serial killer out here is just fucking dead silent while I'm just lifting weights. You know what I mean? But, I just change it up a little bit every now and again.
One thing I've noticed in the last year or so is like, I don't know if I'm changing or if like the people's content I've been following, but I've unfollowed just a lot of YouTube pages. Just people, I honestly think it's just, they're not making the same like content that hooked me in. And it's just like where they've evolved. It's like, I'm tapping out. Like I don't want to like, just like, and this is like a litany between powerlifting, like different fitness and strongman accounts and stuff. It's just like, I don't want to follow this anymore. Like, I don't know. I've noticed myself, like I will actively go through and purge certain people just like, I'm not getting value of this anymore. I'm tired of seeing it in my feed, but I said, I'm not sure if that's more a me thing or a them thing. But they're not losing followers. They're like, if anything, they're gaining followers, but it's just, they're losing the submasters maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be a you thing, probably.
Yeah, could be.
All right, anything else?
Any home gym news and anything we're looking forward to? Any you got I know that Massonomics signed up now. Did they got any podcasts that they've going through you to get, or is everyone kind of on their own?
I gave them Friday at 10 and then Saturday at 11, and they can choose whoever they want to interview.
Sweet.
Rob's going to interview Chris Duffin at 10 on Saturday. I'm going to try and do a roundtable with like the American-made company, some of the American-made companies. I think Thursday. So Thursday we'll have I think the afternoon on that podcast area will be set up and anybody can kind of do that. So there might be some cool podcasts that come out that we do Thursday live and they're just broadcasted. So there won't be a live audience, but there might be some cool ones. And then, but I don't know, most of it has been kind of late to schedule because you want to figure out who's going to be there first. So, and a lot of people don't decide until the last 30 days. So that's all that's on the schedule now.
Are you happy with your ticket sales or are you kind of waiting for that big push to kind of be like, all right, this is what we need?
I'm happy with them. It's still not going to be like a crazy packed convention, but it'll probably be 2 to 3 times larger than last year.
Okay. At its business. Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be a full house. It's gonna be a full area for sure.
It's gonna be packed. Yeah. It's gonna be packed, but I don't think it's gonna be there's not gonna be lines or it's not gonna be anything like a busy convention like the Arnold.
You're still filling out the second room, or has everybody found their way to the main floor?
Still filling out. There's probably 10 companies in that second room.
Is that gonna be in the podcast room from last year, or is it a different area?
Yeah, that area right there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
no, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a blast. I know Carp's coming. Chip, did you make a decision if you were coming or not yet?
Yeah.
To put you on the spot.
No, sorry, not going to be able to make it this year.
Will your mustache be there at least?
No. That's to stay where I am.
Maybe next year, buddy.
Keith, you like putting people on the spot, don't you?
He does.
I've been interviewing people for the last year. I'm getting a little better at it, I guess.
Do you want to do a podcast at Home Gym Con?
Fucker. I've talked about it, but there's. Yeah. I've gone back and forth. I've had different chats. There's going to be a fair amount of crew there, but so many people are doing competitions and stuff. And I also want to be on the floor as much as I can be. I podcast for a living, essentially. I don't know that I want to spend $2,000 on my vacation to podcast. I told Rob if he needed a hand as a co-host or something, I'd be more cool to assist than to produce one of my podcasts without my co-host and then kind of like steal the show. And it's just like, I don't know, I'm literally booked out for the next 13 or 14 weeks. So I really don't need extra content right now. But if we have enough crew sitting around, like, I mean, if I have like 6 Massonomics crew members just sitting around, just shooting the shit, I might like figure out a way to make it happen. But I don't want to like, because I don't know, like the 4 or 5 guys I know that will be there are all either on the grip or the strongman or helping run one or the other. So I don't want to like steal people away from commitments to, hey, come podcast, when I can just do a podcast on Zoom just as easy at home. But maybe.
Got it. What time are you getting there Thursday? I do on Thursday.
No, for sure. I would definitely be down to do something with you guys. I think my flight I should be in French Lick by 5 or 6 at the latest. I'm pretty sure it's like closer to 4 or 5 So I would 100% be excited to do anything like that. I can even, I'll DM you after the fact. I'm not positive. I have so many different flights in my head this year that I know when I get into Sioux Falls in freaking July, but I can't remember when I get into Louisville next month. So
Keith's response to the podcast question sounded like every girl I asked to prom in high school. Like the longest no. All right, 13 weeks. You're okay.
Things fall through, then maybe.
Yeah, all right, okay, all right. So
if it was my own podcast, but it's awkward to like do a podcast without my co-host. Kind of like, not that I can't do it. It's just like, it's not the Keith podcast about home gym equipment. It's like the Massonomics sister podcast kind of thing. So
it's not a home gym podcast. Yeah,
basically.
Right.
All right. Yeah, we got it.
No, Jason.
We'll have someone else.
I would not go to prom with you.
Yeah. Okay. Is your sister available?
All right. Well, that could be it, right?
Is there anything else for us, Jake?
Nope. All right.
Good talk. See you out there.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.